All right, guys, good to see you again. Um, Sorry, no videos for a long time, but I've been guiding lots of trips, teaching lots of survival stuff, writing a bunch for a book actually that I'm writing that's going to come out hopefully end of this summer. So that's a new thing. So that's why I haven't been doing videos. It's just kind of the last of my priorities, and of course, on top of that, I have all these jobs and baby who's sleeping right over there. But I figured I better comment on the final episode before the kiddo wakes up. And I just finished watching it. I couldn't watch it last night. And by the way, I did not cry. I just want you guys to know I didn't cry. This is just how my face looks. Hopefully you guys buy that. But I could not be more proud of how it ended and how everything was put together for that last, for that finale. It was really, really. It just captured everything that actually goes on past those days. And for us, last season, it was more being inside your own head while you're just waiting out a storm and just, hunkering down for the storm, cutting wood in a storm. It was more about the weather. At this point, it was more about the skills and just being innovative and just how long can you bear the daily grind. Where for us, it was the daily being soggy and the daily grind, I guess, I suppose. But I was super proud of all the participants. So we have Jose right at the beginning, and he tips his kayak, of course, as you guys saw who have seen this. And he just stands there in the water and is like, "Oh boy," and gets out his deal and hits his GPS and hits the button. And what I was so impressed by that was he got that on camera. Like, he was in the kayak, had his camera set up, and he was able to catch that on. Like, he was able to film that. That's nuts. That's super, super cool that he'd be able to do that while he's there, while he's freezing cold, and he just says, this is a sign. I'm done here. And I really, really admire what he and Larry said when they left, because they were both like, well, part of me doesn't like that they were sad about it. They were both going for the win, you could tell, and that's why it lasted so long. I was overjoyed when I left because I was like, okay, I got done with this huge achievement, and now it's moving on. No doubt they were a little happier after that first cheeseburger, though. I don't see how that couldn't be the case. But out of all the people who have tapped out, and now 18 people have tapped out of Alone, tapped out or been medically evacuated or whatever, we'll say. I know because Mary Kate's going to be like, I didn't tap. Yeah, I don't know. She's cool. So Jose just says, yep, that's beat me, got me. And Larry said the same thing. He's like, nope, I just got the crap beat out of me. Like, that's why I left. People like to make excuses like, oh, if this hadn't happened to me, I'd be fine. Well, all the different factors, the wildlife, the, making shelter for yourself, living through the, building your shit. I'm probably mumbling because I'm an emotional wreck after that episode. From getting food, the starvation of it all that stuff is part of it. That's all part of Mother Nature and what is happening to you during the show. And I just really loved that those guys just said, nope, I'm done. No other excuses, no other justification necessary. I just have been, broken by this, and it's time to go. And I don't think very many people ever push themselves to that limit because people are scared to. People are scared to get to the point where they're like, no, like I'm done, to to push their limits up to that point. That's not to say anything against any of the people who have tapped out of Alone at all, because there are better, there are more reasons than just one to leave. Obviously, for if you just feel like you need to be with your family and things like that. There are lots of reasons. If you think you got what you went there to do, sure, you can, lots of ways to justify it. But for these guys, they were like, nope, I came here to give it my all, and I did, and now I'm going home. And so that was awesome to see. So huge kudos to Jose and Larry and just their whole personal journeys throughout this thing. So now let's talk about David, the winner. And if you guys are still watching and you say spoiler alert, you really should have saw this coming. So David, Mr. Pastor, ex-missionary, former missionary, probably still a missionary. You're always a missionary. Was the winner. With a wiener, he's a man. And David is a super, super cool dude. I actually had a couple talks with him early on, and he never gave away anything on the show, obviously. So I was not surprised, but I was really happy, when I saw that he won. And he's just saying that, like he'd been reading the message board, the forums and Facebook and all that, Twitter and crap, and he's like, oh yeah, everyone just says I'm a total lightweight. And we kind of talked about it, and I said, yeah, people said that about me too. And but how sweet it must have been for him hearing all that crap said about him, early on. Oh yeah, David's stupid. David's doing this. He doesn't even know all the species of crabs that live in the Pacific Northwest. He's not a real survivalist. And it's all complete bull, because guess what? He's out there doing it. And I'm thinking about writing a blog post about the things that David did that really kind of helped him survive to the end. And then there were a few details that were really kind of important that I don't think are super, super obvious just by watching it, but you can still see them. So we'll talk about that. But he adjusted when he saw things. When something didn't work, he had another idea. He had plans A through Z, and they were all pretty decent, and that's why he was able to keep, getting food and such. It takes a special mind to be able to actually do that. And so huge ups to that guy. Awesome. And I can kind of, I really appreciate him as a person, because have a little soft spot for him, because those of you who know me pretty well know that my dad is actually a pastor, and obviously he was a pastor throughout when I was growing up as well. So, when I see his kids, and when I see his kids get emotional, that was me to a small extent. And so I know that, kind of what those guys would be feeling at the time, because I've been there. I've been on both ends, really. I've been the pastor's kid, and I've been the guy out on alone, suffering, trying to make a better life for his family. And even though I wasn't going after the money when I was on alone, I was just going for personal experience. Maybe should have gone for the money, because I got kind of a little bit close. But I could totally just relate to David and everything he was going through, and just the sheer willpower that it takes. One thing I can't relate to him on is the endurance it would take to keep pushing after your old, beaten body is just done. And he aged from about 50 to 80. And in that last week there, you could kind of see, which is fun. Alan was actually only 40. And I think David's 50. If he's not, he looks 50, at least. Alan was 40 going into it, looked at least 50, 55, 60, 70, but, going through it. So it might take some gray hairs to win alone. We'll see. But so far, that's been pretty accurate. I don't know if they ever let me do it again. Maybe I'll try to last a good long time. But if I ever got the opportunity. But yeah, I mean, back to David. I just can't say enough positive things about him and his attitude and his ability to problem solve and his ability to think. Not that I'm bragging about me calling David doing good things, but if you go to my YouTube channel where I interview Mary Kate from the show, there is a part where I talk about David as being someone who's surprised me the most way back. Not that who cares about that kind of stuff. But anyhow, congratulations to all three, especially David for being like this, the big winner. Even though I have a soft spot for second place, so Larry, anyhow, very cool. Congratulations, awesome. Super proud of you guys, and thanks for listening to me babble for 10 minutes and 45 seconds. Have a good one. Bye-bye.